and I'm holding my phone here, and I'm going to attempt to sit still, but I'm not sure that's going to be possible. I'm probably going to have to pace and move around, but I'm fired up. You know, when I was listening to Jesse and Lisa, I got up and I started doing jumping jacks. I'm in a hotel room out here in Jupiter, Florida. Uh, we're building out here. We did an amazing event yesterday, and you know, just everywhere we're going now, momentum is happening. It's exciting. And then to hear Wendy, and I had a chance to speak with Wendy, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago about the success that she's having. It's amazing. So I'm going to jump right into the reason that I'm on the call tonight, and I'm looking at my face in it. Can you guys see? Can you see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you okay. It's good.
Okay, I see my cheeks are a little red. I've been out in the sun here in Jupiter, Florida. Have to get a little body butter on. Anyways, so I want to talk about the system that is really simplified things. And I love what you said, Josh, that it's taken the fear out of building. It's taken the fear from our new people, our new agents. You know, if you can get them past the fear factor that everybody feels, and get them into activity mode right away, you're going to build a much larger business. You're going to build a business much faster. And so I want to talk about what we started to do with the text messages. And the reason we went along the lines with the text messages was pretty clear to us. First, I saw some statistics that hit me kind of hard. It said they suggested that 80% of the text messages that we receive or that are received are answered within 4 minutes. I've noticed over the last several years that phone calls, making calls and making lots of calls, making calls after calls after calls, I'm getting less and less people. I can tell when I'm being sent to voicemail. I'm getting more and more voicemails. Of course, people are busy, and I was looking for a way to speed up the process of getting information in the hands of prospects and then helping our team do it. And as I started to look at the technologies that are available today, I was using the WhatsApp application a lot more. I'm using Kakao a lot more to communicate around the world. We've got tools available, high-tech tools available to us today that weren't available to us a handful of years ago. Fortune 500 companies didn't have 6-7 years ago, and we're able now to build a global business from the comfort of our own homes using these high-tech tools. But text messages just become part of the deal. I'm communicating more with my teenage daughters today using text messages than regular phone conversations, and so here's what we started to do, and I was doing this for months before we ever introduced it to the organization, because I don't like the flavor of the month type leaders. I don't like the leadership that they read a book and now that's the new philosophy inside of the organization, or a new trainer comes to town, and because they're having success, now we change gears for everybody and we start doing whatever that person was doing. I think it creates confusion. Once you change the direction or you start to change a philosophy in an organization, it takes a long time for those philosophies to take root and really grow and get duplicating. And I see a lot of times leadership are constantly changing things, and it makes it very difficult to build a large organization. And the deal is here, it's not finding the one superstar to build your business. What we've always subscribed to is the ability to get a lot of people doing a little bit. And so I always want to have very simple, systematic techniques, things that anybody can do, very process oriented. And so here's basically how it works. We sit down with a brand new person, of course, when we're doing the blueprint and we're getting them ready. And one of the things that we teach within 24 hours of them getting started is how to contact and invite. It's part of the blueprint. You got the blueprint, and then part of that is the contact and invite. And this is where so many people fall off, is in the contact and inviting, because if I bring a school teacher into the business who maybe is not a salesperson, not interested in being a salesperson, like me, I was a janitor. I had no interest as a janitor for GE to be a salesperson. I wasn't trained as a salesperson. I had fear in that area, and so I was fortunate. I had leadership that helped guide me and direct me and taught me how to share information rather than sell people. But if I'm sitting down with a brand new person, I want them to get into activity mode right away. But if I tell them go home and make a list, and then of course they're going to start prejudging on that list, and who knows, it might be months. And we always hear people say there was a date that I signed the application to become an agent. Then there was a date that I actually started working in the business, and a lot of that is because there's this fear that takes place in people before they'll start making the phone calls, or before maybe sometimes the pain is big enough for them to make the calls. So what we discovered is that you can send a text message and there's no fear attached, because there's not much that can happen, and even if somebody responds back negatively, you don't have to respond, you don't have to deal with it. So here's how the system works. We send a text message. I'll sit down with my brand new person, and I'll say what we're going to do is we're going to send 10 text messages right now, and usually so to the last 10 people that they've sent the text message to. And basically, because I want them to hit the people that they're communicating with the most. I want them to start there, because those are always the best place to start. Of course, the people that are closest to us, you always get the opportunity to apologize if you mess things up. You always, hopefully your mother will allow you to continue to communicate with her, even if you freak her out. And so we say the top 10 people, the last 10 people that you send a text message to, I want you to send a text message. And it's basic, real simple. It just says, watch this 4-minute video. And I haven't put in 4-minute video. I tell our highly educated people to be very careful that they don't create a paragraph, create a whole bunch of fancy words, and it's a 4-minute video, and sometimes people will send a text that takes 4 minutes to read it. And it's so I want people to keep it very simple. This first text is only designed to get dialogue started. It's to get the process going, to get some interest, to see if somebody's open, really. That's what I'm looking for, and we want to get this started. Plus, I want my brand new person to see that we can do some simple activity, some very non-scary activity, and get this process going. So again, it's watch this 4-minute video, and of course, you guys know the 4-minute 44-second video. It's on the landing page when we come in. Now they've got a page inside of the back office. You can get this very simply. And this video, the reason why I use this video is because there's nothing that would turn somebody off about this video. It's very well done. It's got a lot of facts in there. It's the video that goes in. There's so many bones in the body. There's so many organs, and so there's a lot of good facts. There's factual information. There's information about the Dead Sea. Again, nothing where somebody's going to come back and say, oh, is this a pyramid, thing? We don't get those kind of responses from that video. And somebody asked me the other day about, that they were sending the Isaac Ben Shabbat video out first. And I just want to touch on that because I've been getting hit with this a lot. The only reason why I don't, of course, Isaac Ben Shabbat is my brother. We believe and we follow and we love Isaac Ben Shabbat, but not everybody knows Isaac Ben Shabbat the way we do. And sometimes when there's an individual speaking, people will prejudge. Like there's people that may have tuned out already on this call tonight because I'm speaking. And I never want somebody a prospect because of their hang-ups on, I don't know, the accent that Isaac Ben Shabbat has, or the way he looks, or the quality, or whatever. And so that's why I use that video to get the process started. It's very simple, and I'm not going to get a lot of rejection from it. So, and everything I do, by the way, also I can teach. There's only going to be 2 responses. There's a bunch of different scenarios, and by
Hey, John, we're losing you right quick. We're losing signal. I think you got too fired up and started pacing a little too much. That's better. I think that's a little better.
I'm sitting.
Okay, that's better. There we go.
Down.
There we go. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead. 2 responses.
All right. So everything I do is I get 2 responses. You're only gonna get 2. I apologize. I'm on my iPhone, so I hope I'm not bouncing all over the place. I'm holding my phone up. You're only gonna get 2 responses from every step in this process. There's only going to be 2 scenarios, 2 possible things that are going to come back to you. So again, I want to show a brand new person that I got your back, and I know what you're going to get. I know exactly the responses that you're going to get, and I'm going to show you exactly how to deal with those. Again, some of the challenges that we have with people is they're afraid because they don't know what to say. Well, what if this person says this or they say that? Well, I'm going to teach you that there's only going to be 2 possible scenarios that are going to come out of what I'm sharing with you, and you're going to have a way to respond to all that. That's how you start to build a duplicatable system. That's how you can build an army of people, a lot of people doing a little bit. And I'm also building confidence in my brand new person that I know what I'm talking about. A lot of times the challenge that we have is the way we get people started in our professions. We're like, go get them, Tiger. And they're like, go get who? Go get what? They don't know what to do because, we got a profession of a lot of times the follower leading the follower in this big circle, and everybody's confused. So I want to take all the confusion out of it. I want to show them exactly what to do. So we start with that video. It's a 4-minute, 40-second video. There's only 2 possible things that can come after you've sent that video. It's real simple. Either they watched it or they didn't. Those are the only 2 outcomes. So how do I know? Well, if I don't hear anything back, there's a good chance they didn't watch it. Or maybe they did and they just got busy. So I always do the exact same thing. I send another text message that says simply, did you watch the video? And I believe anybody could send that text message, did you watch the video? Guess what? There's only 2 possible responses from that question. It's either yes, I did, or no, I did not. And so let me tell you what I do for each one of them. I want to give you specifically so you guys know exactly how to teach your team how to respond to these things. If they said, let's start with the negative first. If they say, no, I did not. My next text message is always the same, very simple. It says, look, the video is only 4 minutes long. You do not have to cook popcorn and settle in for the night. I'll hit you back in 15 minutes. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm keeping this thing moving. I'm keeping it straightforward, and I'm not wasting anybody's time, especially my time, because in the end, I'm going to always have at least 10 people in play. I don't have time to waste, and we don't have time to waste. I'll keep at least 10 people in play at all times in different stages of the game. So again, you don't have to cook popcorn, settle in for the night. The video is only 4 minutes long. I'll hit you back in 15. Now they could say, well, I'm in the middle of something. I can watch it later on. Then I might say, okay, well, I'll hit you back tomorrow, or something like that. And if they say they did watch the video, I always have the exact same question every single time. Matter of fact, it's the same question I use anytime I've exposed anybody to any aspect of the business. It's always the same. It's what did you like best about what you saw? I don't ask people what do they think. It doesn't even matter what they think. Some of my friends will have some smart aleck comment come back, well, I think she was cute, or I didn't like the dude's hair, or whatever. I'm asking them, what did you like best about what you just saw? And now here's the deal. There's only a couple things when they respond, because it was really only about the Dead Sea and a little bit about our company, and there are some facts about our body and some minerals. So no matter what they say when they respond back, I always say the same thing. Me too, with a bunch of exclamation points. Me too. I like the Dead Sea, or I just had a guy hit me back. He said, I was just at the Dead Sea last year and I loved it. And I said, you know what? Me too. And if you hadn't been to the Dead Sea, you can say, me too. I haven't been to the Dead Sea, but I've got the Dead Sea in my house right now, thanks to Secret. So it's always me too. And so if they say whatever it is, I say me too. And then all I'm trying to do is I'm leading them to the next step in the process. I learned from the Direct Selling Association many years ago, statistics that they put out. They said the average person takes about 7 exposures before they make a decision to join a business like this. So 7 exposures. The challenge is sometimes we come across so desperate and we're trying to close people and hard hammer people that we're trying to hit home runs every time we step up to the plate. It's just not realistic, and it freaks people out and it scares people away. So when they say whatever it was they like, I say me too. My next question is the same thing. Are you open to receiving some more information? Are you open? By the way, I've always used this, no matter if I'm talking to somebody on the phone or I'm sitting down with somebody. I had a sit down today after I went to church, and the lady started talking a little bit, and I just had to ask her, are you open to this information? And she wasn't. I said, well, thank you for your time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time, and God bless you. Good night. And I rolled out. I'm looking for people that are open. I'm not in the business of convincing people, that they should join our business. So are you open to receiving more information? Then guess what I do? Now, guess what? There's only going to be 2 responses to that question as well. They either are or they are not. Yes, I am open. Well, perfect. Then I send over. I like what you said, Josh. I've copied yours. It actually says, "Sweet, watch this 12-minute opportunity video," and it goes into a little more in the opportunity. Now, it doesn't go into specifics of the compensation plan. It doesn't give a whole bunch of numbers that could potentially confuse somebody or scare somebody away. But what it does, it opens up the door that there's some lifestyle here. There's some money to be made. There's some real people making it. It starts to get them ready. They're marinating a little bit. It's getting them set up about the possibilities. Now, the other option could be they could say, no, I'm not open to receive any more information. Well, we're not done yet, because I always do the exact same thing. By the way, secret is the best business for people who are not interested, just so you know. People are not interested. Secret is the best business for uninterested people. And so what I say at that point, I always send the exact same thing. I say, can I send you, or would you like to receive some free, and I put free in capital letters, F-R-E-E, all capital, free samples. Now, it is crazy to me. I've been doing this for a long time. I am blown away by the amount of people that say they're not interested in getting more information, or they're not open. But all of a sudden, when I say, would you like some free samples? Would you like me to send you some free samples? All of a sudden, they respond back, yes. So now they're still in play. Guess what? Because I'm just going to get their address. We're going to get some free samples out to them. They are still one of my 10 in play. And, I'm coming back to them later, because once they get those samples, you guys know the whole reason for doing any of this is get the product on them. We get the product on them, it's over. All right, so you guys got it? If they're not open to receiving the next video, receiving more information, I always ask them, would they like to receive some free samples? I'll get those out to you right away. And 80% of the time, guys, you're going to be shocked, because people are going to say, yes, I'll take some free samples. Everybody wants something free, I guess. And then that starts the process from there. Now, if they do watch the video, so again, they've watched the video, what am I going to say? When I follow up with them, what did you like best about the video? What did you like best about the 12-minute opportunity video? Whatever they say, at this point, I already know what it's going to be. The majority of the time, it's going to be something along the line of the lifestyle of, the opportunity, what they're seeing there, that it's intriguing, that they like, some of the stories, that it makes sense, or they'll tell me that they're struggling in a certain area financially, usually. And of course, me too. It's the same exact response. Me too. That's what I liked about it as well. That's what I saw. And so once we get to this point, now here's where we're getting into some territory that's a little scary, because we end up closing people. I don't like to use the word closing, but we end up having people join the business somewhere in here sometimes. And this bothers me a little bit, because I really want to get some product on these people. I really want to get them, in the business. So we do have some, good quality videos that are actually giving people enough information to make a decision to join. And I don't want us to get too hung up on thinking we're going to close everybody this way, because at some point we're going to have to sit down with them and make sure that we get some product on them. We're going to have to get some product to them. Of course, if they do join, they're going to buy a package, and then they're going to have the product. And I want to make sure immediately we're ripping open that package with them via Skype or however we got to do it. So keep that in mind. But from that video, there's still one more video that I need to get to them. And that's the video, because at this point, I'm going to ask them, would they like to know the specifics on how we get paid? And you guys know we have a 6-minute compensation video. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send over that 6-minute compensation video to them. I don't explain the compensation plan. If you ask me how the compensation plan works, I'm going to tell you it works very, very good. Based on my last check, or based on the organization that we're building, based on, the 100 plus, 6-figure income earners inside of our company now. We're only 4 years new, and I can go on and on this, guys. But I don't go into it. That's not what I do. I'm just here to facilitate. I'm here to push them through the process. By the way, there's another reason why this works so well, because at the very end of this process, if they in any way ask me or say that they're not sure if they can do what I just did, I'll go back and I'll ask them, which part can you not do? The part where I text over a 4-minute video, the part where I offered you free samples. Here's the other part of it, guys. If you get somebody that has a lot of questions, they start asking a lot of questions via the text message, you know what I do? I head right into the 3-way call. I say, look, I'm new, or in this case, I wouldn't say I'm new. Actually, I am new, because nobody on this line is more than 4 years old. So you can say I'm new, I'm just getting started, or I'll say, look, I got somebody who's just like you. I got an engineer, I got a school teacher who's a rising star in the company. I got someone, they got a specific question about compensation, they got a specific question about product. Look, we got some experts. I never, am ready reference. I'm never the expert. You guys know I said it from the conference. My 3 favorite words are I don't know. I build a massive business because I don't know. All I know is, and then I go into the story relating to whatever the question they're asking, and then I get them on a 3-way call with an expert, somebody else. So again, when this whole process is done, when we're getting towards the end, where they have enough information to make an educated decision about joining our opportunity, I can say to them, I can walk back through the process we just went through and say, which part can't you do? Can you send a 4-minute video via text message? Can you then answer 1 or 2 questions that would come back? Can you then send a 12-minute opportunity video? If they have a bunch of questions, like they'll say, you had a bunch of questions, can you get me on the line? Can you get an expert on the line with them? And we're talking about this entire process took me a matter of minutes to go through the entire process on my end. That's why I can continue to have 10 people in play at all times. I see what's happening with Jesse and Lisa. I see what's happening with Wendy. They're recruiting people. They're sponsoring people, bringing people in the business, and they're also creating leaders that are becoming top recruiters inside of our business because they're setting the example and they're simplifying everything. They're having people understand right out the gate that they can do this, that this is possible for anybody. Anybody and everybody can do this. And that's really the key to our business. So again, that's all we're doing, Josh. We're doing that over and over and over. We had a group in our hotel room at the convention. I don't know, maybe 40, 50 people in the room. And for an hour, maybe 2 hours, we just had them, pounding the text messages, one after another after another. The deal was you had to get 50 text messages in. 50 exposures is what took place. You guys know within that hour, there were people telling us they were signing agents up just from that. And now, again, that scares me a little bit because I would like to see them get a little deeper into the process, have a little more information, and then, of course, get the product. But we can take them. They sign up. We get them on a package. We get them some product, and we get them in process and get them through the blueprint, show them how to do this. You can build a large organization with a very simple, process-oriented, systematic way of doing your business. And I believe this is a great start, especially with getting brand new people started. Josh, is anything I missed? I know you.
No, man, you rocked it, brother. I've heard this training 3 or 4 times, been using it, been training people on it, and I still have some notes here on a page. I love what you said, man. It really is. When you do it this way, it is yes or no. And one of the notes that I wrote down, you really touched on being systematic and how, there's a lot of things out there in network marketing, John, you know better than I do, that there's a lot of things out there that work. I can go do something that works. So-and-so might go do something that works. But not all the time is what works, what duplicates. And if you want to build a real residual income where you can be doing the vision cast as a top earner from your hotel room in Florida on a Sunday night in March, then you got to have a duplicatable system. And you and I were talking one time, and you're really helping me understand that by bringing up the McDonald's analogy. I'd love for you to just touch on that right quick because, everybody on the line right now knows that McDonald's is one of the largest corporations in the world. Everybody knows that they didn't get rich by selling hamburgers. They got rich by putting 17,000 McDonald's worldwide. And what makes the system so significant, especially, I think everybody can relate to that, McDonald's.
And I'm a big fan of McDonald's. Not that I eat their food, but I'm a big fan of Ray Kroc and this amazing entrepreneur. And if you know the story of Ray Kroc, Ray Kroc was in his 50s when he embarked on this crazy idea. Matter of fact, his wife, eventually they end up getting divorced, but she was like, "Man, you're crazy. You're 50-some years old. You got health problems. Why would you do this crazy idea? It's never going to work." And of course, all the same things we all deal with as young entrepreneurs getting things started. And then, but Ray Kroc really dedicated his life to creating a system that would, cross economic boundaries, a system that would cross geographic boundaries, a system that you could teach just about anybody. Like I always say, you could take a 17-year-old in Miami, Florida, working at a McDonald's. That same 17-year-old, you could put him in Chicago, Illinois, and the system's the same. It's a push-button system. Burger Boy knows cheeseburger always in the yellow wrapper because the fillet of fish goes in the turquoise wrapper. You know what I'm saying? It's like the architect knows the system. The French fry fryer is always on the left because the McFlurry machine's on the right. Now, I love having a very systematic business because it allows me I don't have to recruit an army of sales professionals. I don't have to recruit an army of super duper entrepreneurial whatever. I can bring in the single mother. I can bring in the engineer, the IT professional, the professional athlete. I can bring in janitors and jelly makers and ex-cops. You can bring in all these type of people when you have a very systematic approach. And you're right. I see a lot of big earners in network marketing that are doing things that work. Yes, they're working, but I see a lot of times it's almost like we've traded one rat race for a new rat race, one treadmill for a new treadmill, because that work requires a lot of energy, and we have such charismatic leaders inside of relationship marketing. A lot of times it's their charisma that's making it work. And if their charisma is ever out of the picture, guess what's going to stop working? Whatever they were doing up to that point. And that scares me. I was taught that I'm building a business. I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave an inheritance for my children's children. I can't do that if it's always about me and my effort. J. Paul Getty, the famous billionaire, one of the early billionaires, said, I would rather have 1% from 100 people than to give 100% of my own effort all the time. I see some relationship marketing people that they work super hard. They are going at it hard every day, but they haven't created a system that duplicates or that has the ability to cross. Maybe it duplicates in their backyard, but our largest organization right now is in South Korea. I don't speak any Korean. I do eat kimchi from time to time, but you have to have a system that is duplicatable. When we're going into these Spanish countries, I don't speak Spanish, but we've got a system that the same thing. These videos you can get in Spanish, and the products, of course, are universal. You don't have to even speak. You don't have to speak the language. You don't have to be able to talk to be able to slap some product on people or to have people experience these amazing products. This is what duplicates. Getting these products on people duplicates. Getting using the technology, these high-tech tools with our high touch, that duplicates. Keeping it very simple, not using a lot of words when I'm dealing with prospects. One thing I hate is when I hear these stories of sitting down with people without any type of tool and just, puking all over people about secret and how they got a job and they're just over broke and their life sucks and we got everything over here and you'll drive a Ferrari, and then, and the prospect's thinking to themselves, well, man, you owe me $25. So how true can this all be? So, again, keep it simple. And if anyone ever questions anything that we're doing in the process, they're not questioning me. They're not questioning John, the janitor, or my lack of education or my lack of skill. They have to then question, the Dead Sea. Now, you can CNN reports on the Dead Sea and some amazing characters from our history, from Solomon to Herod, Sheba, Cleopatra, Gene Simmons. I mean, the story is clear. It's the truth. And I just point to the story. I keep pointing and pointing. I get out of the way, and I let the system do the heavy lifting for me. I'm just facilitating. I'm mastering the mundane, these simple things, boring over and over and over. I never change it based on a person's age. I don't change it based on a person's skin color. I don't change it based on their economic status. I don't change it based on their geographic location. It's the same thing for every single person over and over. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect, and that goes just right back into being a system, because I can't tell you how many times I have some new agents, and I remember what it was like when I first got started. The fear kicks in, and when I first got started, we didn't have any type of texting system yet, and I would always remember I'd want to ask, and one of these questions actually comes from Giza out in San Antonio. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. But he says, does the texting system change based on someone's economic stature?
I just said,
would you send a 4-minute video to someone making more money than you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Let me give you a little hint. You're better off sending this. Matter of fact, busy people are usually the most successful people, and you are showing them right up front that this doesn't require a whole lot of their time, because they're asking themselves 3 questions. Do I have the time to do this? Would I do this? And would I do this with my friends and family? And so if it's weird, time consuming, any of these things, if they are not bobbing and weaving with you on in any of the the initial stuff, they're done. So I would prefer, matter of fact, I'm always of the mindset I'd rather get rejected by a millionaire than, someone who is struggling to, whatever.
No, I agree. I agree 100%, bro. You hit the nail on the head.
And the entrepreneurial-minded people are going to be more likely to get this. Business-minded people, entrepreneurial-minded people, they're the most likely to join our business. And guess what? They also understand that they need product. Business owners get it right away. I need a pro pack. I gotta have the products that we use to keep this thing moving forward.
That reminds me, and that leads me to the next question. Someone asked, if you're doing well with the texting system and people are getting started just by watching the videos, and I know there's certain groups out there that are really having some traction doing the webinars with recruiting new agents, this never, ever takes the place of the wow parties. And if I could just be so bold as to say, well, I remember hearing from you in August of 2013 at the Canadian launch, your whole training about how, as Secret, we're building a community of secret product consumers, whether it's public consumption, whether it's everyday consumption when we're using our regimens twice a day, or whether it's at the wow party using it on our guests. If we're not consuming product, that is a fatal flaw in our system. Would you elaborate on that for us, brother?
Man, the only reason I'm doing this is to get product on people. See, a lot of network marketing companies, they don't have a product, or the product is an excuse to launder money amongst friends, or it's, hey, don't look at my product, let me show you the compensation plan. That is short term. That is a recipe for disaster. At some point, that will be a train wreck, guaranteed. There's enough history in relationship marketing now to prove that that's the reality of the situation. I came here with a checklist. I came to Secret looking for specific things. I wanted a long-term opportunity. I wanted real viable products, because there's not a company on this planet that I respect. There's not a billion-dollar-plus company in the world with a good reputation that has done it without the product being the star. Building product brand loyalty is critical to your residual income. I don't care what anyone says, unless you're just going to have a recruiting game, and a recruiting game will eventually get shut down by the FTC. Playing games with people, a recruiting scheme is not what we're in. I'm in the business of skincare consumption, and we have the best skincare on the planet. Matter of fact, there's so many other things that we can do with the Dead Sea Minerals that I love what Isaac Benchabot says, that we're a solution company. And you're going to see us providing more and more solutions to people's challenges. And when you can provide solutions, real solutions, I'm not talking about some fabricated mess where, you hear these stories where, somebody found some crazy something, and they take it to Dr. Zhivago's laboratory and he spins it, and now they got this sales pitch around it. I'm talking about real solutions. I'm talking about the Dead Sea, the eighth wonder of the world, where millions of people are traveling there to provide solutions to problems that they're facing, from eczema, psoriasis, acne, all these crazy rashes that people are dealing with, and skin conditions. This is a viable long-term economic deal for us, and we can't just use this system to create short-term economics for ourselves, which
yes,
it is doing.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be here to generate production income, which actually takes us to our next question. Would you send this to someone who's a potential, customer? And I would say, get the potential agent or customer out of your head to start with. First off, get them into the system. I love what you said. I wrote it down. 10 in play. Always having 10 in play, John. And tell me, this texting system also works for people who may not even be business minded. They may just get excited about that 4-minute product video, which one of the questions was exactly what video are you sending, John? And guys, it's if you go to www.vimeo.com, Vimeo, V as in Victor, I M as in Mary, EO.com. In the search bar, type in Secret Products. Secret Products. It's the first video that comes up. It's like 4 minutes, 17 seconds. Vimeo.com. That's the video, the 4-minute product video. And John, you could send this video out as long as you got your 10 in play. And I'm sure that you guys in your team, I know in my team, we're experiencing people coming in not just as agents, but people coming in also as customers. One of the questions was, what do you say to somebody who just, how did they word it? What do you say to someone if your prospect just altogether stops responding to your text? I know this happened to me before too. Just by the way of it.
Yeah, there's not much more you can say to them. If they stop responding, it's like, okay. I would, for me personally, depends on my relationship. If it's someone I'm close to, I'll tell you what I would say. I would say, look, man, I've checked the morgues, I've called the police departments, I put a APB out on your butt. Are you okay? So if someone I'm close to, that's the way I would talk to a friend of mine. If they just stop responding, I'm gonna be like, man, are you okay? Everything all right? I hope I didn't freak you out too bad. I hope my text messages didn't scare you away from being my friend. If it did, I apologize. Look, let's get our relationship. I always put my relationship before the situation. So, I just, so there's someone I don't know and they're not responding. It's like, again, I might say, are you okay? Or I hope that, me sending you some information didn't turn you off. I just thought it would be a benefit to you. But I don't sweat people. I don't want to stress people out. I want to keep it very simple. I want to maintain my relationships with people. Another reason why this works very well. But you will get from time to time someone that's just not interested. And that's why I always say, can I send you some free product? That's really my last effort with them. And it's amazing how many of the uninterested people then want free product, free samples. But if they say no, I hate the Dead Sea, I hate you, I don't like any of this stuff, and I'm mad at the world. Look, I don't want them on the team anyways, so they sort themselves out for me. What I find is so many people have all these fence sitters. They have so many people sitting on a fence. They're in la-la land. I'm talking to our agents all the time. I say, well, I got like all these people, but nobody's signed up and nobody's going to sign up. And so I'm trying to get people off the fence. And I'm trying to get them off the fence and to either, look, we're looking for a yes or a no. I'd rather have a bunch of no's and be able to keep moving forward in my business than have a whole bunch of maybes, sorta. And a lot of times people just keep asking more questions of you. You think they're interested, but they're just doing that so they don't have to make a decision.
Yeah, and that's something that you and I personally talked about in the past, is just when you get into that space of just constantly getting a bunch of maybes or I don't know yet, you tend to recycle the same old tired contacts, exhausted contacts that you've been playing with for the last, it's almost like playing Ring Around the Rosie. And, I love what you said, that the whole point behind this system is to push them in or out. All we got to do is expose them, push them in or out, and, maintain the relationship, continue to build upon the relationship. And, something I learned from you guys is that, the T in timing is always more important than T in talent. You never know. A no today very well may be a not right now. And if you just maintain the relationship, continue to work on yourself, you'll attract them. We've been going, brother, we had too much fun tonight, and that's the majority of the questions that I have here, and we've been going for a while. So I just, real quick, I do want to promote, I know April 12th, you're going to be in Maryland. We're going to be doing a big event out there. I know we're talking about some of the things that you're going to share with us. I'm trying to bring a crew from up north. I know Wendy's going to come down with a big group of people. We're going to bring some people up from the south. And guys, we have our peak event. Real quick, before you go, just give us some last final thoughts, John, on why right now, in secret, less than 3 months away from our June 5th to 7th, not a peak event. This is a leadership summit. Yeah. We've never had a leadership summit before. No. And why is it so important for every single agent right now to at least achieve executive so that they can be a part of this leadership summit in Phoenix?
Well, you have to, because it's what you become. It's not what you get. That's so important. I think we get caught up in cash and cars and titles and all this stuff, and it's what you become. I tell people all the time, if I didn't make a dime in relationship marketing, what I've become because of this. In the end, I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better business person. I'm a better leader. I'm a lot of things today that I was not yesterday or for sure years ago. And the process of getting to executive is it's amazing to me, because to get to that point, number one, it takes a decision. It takes commitment. It takes some resilience. It takes some activity. And these are the steps. These are some of the initial steps in becoming a leader inside of Secret. And what's going to happen for those that qualify for this event, they're going to come in and they're going to get the leadership toppings. They're going to get, what does it take? How do you build momentum? Let's talk about, some of the things that John Maxwell taught on the Big Mo, but how specifically do you create that momentum inside of a secret organization? You know, these type of things that we don't have time at a convention with, you know, a lot of brand new people, and, you know, people, you know, even guests in those rooms sometimes. And, you know, so the leadership training that someone's going to get on how to get momentum, maintain momentum, and then even more important, push momentum forward. How do you build a global organization? You know, there's some specific skills. There's some specific skills that are necessary to build a global organization. I get people all the time asking me about how do you build a global organization, and there's going to be specific training on here's how you build a global organization. Here's how you get an organization duplicating where you can't speak the language. Here's how you get an organization growing in spite of you, not because of you. And so, you know, there's going to be the training is going to be impactful, and I believe it's going to be the most content-rich, money-producing training that we've ever done as an organization, because we were able to take the time and talk a different language, because these are leaders. These are people that know what it takes to do the activity to achieve a goal, and understand this is the process to do that. And so, yeah, it's going to be the training is going to be powerful. It's going to be impactful for sure. And I believe it'll be the beginning. We used to do these events in my other company. We would have a rank, and you can see, if I go back and look, those that would qualify for those ranks became the ones that end up leading the entire company. So I predict, I predict much the same here.
Well, I love it. I look forward to spending more time with you and Tiffany out at that leadership summit, and of course we'll see you in April up in Maryland. And then I think just a couple weeks after that, word on the street is we might be hanging out in Israel for a few days at the Diamond Trip. So
that's what
this is going to be a fun year, man. And I appreciate your time. This has been incredible training, guys.
Wait. One more thing, Josh. Hold on. I just want to promote that next week's Vision Cast is Casey and Elena Call. You know, you guys know these are the powerhouses. We've got a deep, you know, starting lineup. We got a deep bench. We got amazing. These are you know, always in the top 5 income earners inside of our company. You know, they're amazing people. Some of the biggest hearts inside of our community. Please make sure you're plugged into that event. They have a very unique, a very keen insight into how to build a secret organization, and they do it with a lot of flair. They do it with a lot of fun. And make sure that I'm tuned into that, and make sure the entire community is also tuned in.
Yeah, for sure. And that's so true about Casey and Elena, bro. They add a completely different flavor. They add a completely different feel. It's just, if I could describe, you know, if I could sum up Casey and Elena's swagger or, you know, approach to the way they build, in one word, I would say they build with love. It is just unconditionally love, and they genuinely do care about every single person that they come in contact with. They are just incredible human beings, and they're a wealth of knowledge. I mean, like you said, that you know, Red Diamond agents and the top 5 income earners of the company consistently. So, yeah, next week, guys, same time, same place. I look forward to seeing all you guys, and I'm going to be behind my computer. We're going to be welcoming Josh Denny back next week. I'm going to be behind my computer with the same notepad, bottle of water, and my executive watch. So, John, brother, any final words?
No, I think we covered a lot tonight. I appreciate everybody being on the line, and I will tell you that this company is going into momentum. There's no question. People say, are we in momentum? I say, you know, there's a lot of success happening. We're every week we're doing bigger production. We're doing more customers. We're doing more recruiting. We're doing more volume every week over week. But I know that when momentum hits, momentum is the great exaggerator. You know, momentum can take someone making $700 a month and turn them into $7,000 a month. Momentum is going to take the people making $7,000 a month and take them to $70,000 a month. And I'm not even going to say what it's going to do for the people that are making 20, 30, 40, 50,000. The stories are very clear inside of our profession, and we've got a better system. We've got a better product line. We've got better leadership. We've got a better foundation, and we've now got a very clear, proven path to get to where we set out to go from the very beginning. So I'm more fired up than I've ever been. Tiffany put a post out the other day that said, "We grind," and the truth is we are working just as hard because we believe in leading by example. We're not telling people to do something that we're not doing, and we're going to continue leading by example. I love that the organization has caught on, that you bring new blood. It's the lifeblood. You know, bring these new agents that are coming to Secret. They are so excited. They get me fired up. You know, I'm more excited than ever just talking with the new agents that they didn't have to deal with some of the challenges that we had to deal with, for the last, 3.5 years, 4 years, and they're coming to this amazing foundation that's been built, this amazing brand that's been put in place for 15 years. It's just
and they're breaking records.
They're making us look. Josh, you were breaking records. We thought you were the young gun, the super stud. It turns out that you weren't anything either. Just like Tiffany and I, we're nothing, man. These not young people, but just people are coming here from all walks of life, all different ages, and they are crushing us. They're creating records that we never thought would be broke. They're breaking records we never thought would break, probably because we thought we were so great. But I'm so excited about this new group of excited people from all different backgrounds, all different age groups that are coming in here, and they love what we've got, and they're showing us how amazing this opportunity is, and I'm super excited about that and for them.
Well, John Malott, thank you so much again for your time. And guys, I hope you know, especially you new agents right now, and I'm looking at you right now, that you're on the line, and maybe nobody right now in the company, maybe none of the top earners know your name yet. Maybe you're brand new. Maybe you just signed up today. We're talking to you guys. Momentum in secret has not hit yet. It's kind of like you can kind of see the smoke in the distance from where the grass fire is starting to heat up, but the flames have not actually caught fire yet. And I know that it could be a person on the line right now. It could be a new agent right now that really just sets another record and sparks that momentum. Each and every person in this community is special. There's greatness inside of each and every one of you guys. I'm so fortunate to be here to serve. And same thing with you, John. I love you guys so much. And let's get it until next week.
All right, bro. Appreciate you guys. Good night. God bless.